Hello, do you love chocolate? I do. Maybe you might even say that you're a chocoholic. Sometimes I feel like a chocoholic. I'll explain why I had to stop being a chocoholic in a minute. But I'm kind of curious, and would you please help me by putting in the comments what your favorite kind of chocolate is? And number one, milk chocolate. All right, and we'll say that it's the important thing about milk chocolate is it's got milk in it, and um, and they identify it as a milk chocolate usually, but sometimes you will find dark chocolates that have milk in them too. Now, if you prefer just a milk chocolate, no bitterness or sourness or anything like that, just that sweet chocolate flavor with milk in it, then please specify milk chocolate. And then, if, however, you prefer something a bit darker, like a Hershey's Special Dark or something, which is what helped me to fall in love with dark chocolates, um, with or without chocolate, without milk, then go ahead and put that down that you prefer something like that. And I call that a medium chocolate. So it's usually about 40 to 70% chocolate mass. That can include mass and butter and liqueur. Um, so if it's in that range, specify that you love medium chocolate. Now, if you prefer medium chocolate with or without milk, you can please put that in the comments as well. The third category isn't really a chocolate. It's called white chocolate. There's no chocolate in it, and I don't think it should be called chocolate. I don't think it should be on the list, but some people prefer it over chocolate, and I understand that not everybody wants to eat chocolate, and there are some people who can't eat chocolate. So if you prefer or only can eat white chocolate, then go ahead and put that as your choice. Um, then the last category is 70% or above. And generally speaking, these chocolates don't have milk in them, or they have a very small amount of milk, or they may have just whey in them, which is the liquid part of the milk. As far as like, if you allow unhomogenized or not homogenized milk to settle, what you'll notice is the cream will float to the top, and then you'll have the milk underneath that. Now, if you take that cream or the milk and you put in citric acid or vinegar or something like that to curdle it, what you'll discover is you'll get a greenish yellowish translucent liquid on the top, and underneath that you'll find the curds. Now, the stuff on the top, that liquid, that yellow green or green yellow liquid, is called whey, W-H-E-Y. And the curds are the white substance that gives milk its color. Anyways, I'm digressing. If you prefer to have a dark chocolate that has at least 70% in it, as far as the cocoa is concerned, then put that in there. And if you prefer it with or without milk, go ahead and note that as well. And then if you have a second favorite or even a third favorite, I'd love to see that information too. For me, my first favorite is dark chocolate, and then medium chocolate, and then marginally milk chocolate, and barely at all white chocolate. I just prefer not to have these two anymore. Um, I can remember back as far as when I was a little kid, I loved chocolate. But then again, I loved a lot of different kind of candies. I loved those spicy cinnamon candies, and the root beer barrels, and the Tootsie Rolls, and the sweet tarts, and licorice. Although I didn't really ever like the red stuff. I always only wanted the black stuff, and I still only really want black stuff. And usually, if I get candy other than chocolate, it's going to be licorice. Um, there aren't very many candies that really interest me anymore than those two. Um, but anyways, chocolate is amazing. It has scientists figured this out and published research years after I'd figured some of it out myself because I ate so much dark chocolate. Dark chocolate has benefits that milk chocolate and white chocolate and even medium chocolate don't have. And so, for example, if you consume dark chocolate, because the amount, it depends on the brand, okay? Those with high amounts of sugar in them are not going to qualify, and it needs to be about at least 70% cocoa mass, butter, liquor, whatever. But if you have something that has mostly chocolate in it, 70% or more, and sugar isn't the first ingredient on the list, then probably you will discover that eating it will inhibit plaque buildup in your mouth afterwards. Now, if you eat a white chocolate or a milk chocolate or even most medium chocolates, you're not going to notice that benefit. But dark chocolate has enough alkalinity in it that the bacteria are not happy and they will not grow. So you can actually inhibit bacterial growth in your mouth by eating this stuff. Another benefit that you'll notice, of course, with chocolate of any kind, but especially the darker it gets, is there's caffeine. Now, caffeine in large quantities is not good for people, but it can help to give you a boost to make you more aware, to make you more not so much fog in your brain, I guess you could say. Another benefit of dark chocolates, 70% and above again, is that they contain nutrients in them that are good for your health. Now, I'm not going to go into the details about the health benefits of it, but if you get at least 70% dark chocolate and it hasn't been overcooked, because heat destroys these nutrients, but if it hasn't been overcooked and it's at least 70%, you can enjoy health benefits as well as preventing plaque buildup in your mouth by eating that stuff. And that's wonderful, isn't it? Well, there's a dark side to chocolate as well, especially with the dark chocolates. Now, the higher you go, and I usually stick to around 70 to 75%, but I tried going up to 85% because I really wanted those health benefits, but I discovered I have some problems with really dark chocolate. Now, it's not so much with the 70 percentile chocolates, it's more with the 80% and above. Now, if you get up into the 90s and 100% dark chocolate, you're talking about chocolate that is the way the ancient Central and South American people ate it, without sugar. Okay? It is bitter, it is sour, but it is very, very good for your health. And if it has been processed properly, it actually will have fruity flavor to it. The problem is these days with mass production, a lot of chocolate companies have destroyed the extra flavors that should exist in chocolate, so that you only get the one chocolate flavor that we typically associate with chocolate. Whereas chocolate beans come from the chocolate fruit, which is a largish fruit, and you should actually be able to taste fruitiness in your chocolate. Mass production destroys that. But anyways, the dark side to chocolate, number one, because of the high caffeine content, the higher you go, you may experience nausea, you may experience palpitations, which is your heart beating irregular, you may experience racing heart, where the heart is beating very, very fast. You may feel nervous, you may feel paranoid. It's kind of like cocaine, I guess. So from what I've heard. Anyways, I've never done cocaine, so I wouldn't know. But it has some negative side effects in those terms. But in addition, I was on an 85% dark chocolate kick, and I would eat about a bar a day of dark chocolate. And after one night, I woke up at 2 in the morning, and I had this pain that I'd never felt in this region over here. And I thought, oh my God, what is that? I'm pretty good at figuring out some things when it comes to medical problems because of, I've been alive for 55 years, so I've gotten to know things. But this was something new to me. I was like, well, what is that? And why is it hurting? I ended up going to the ER. And I also noticed that there was some discomfort in this area over here. And so the doctors examined me, and they if I remember correctly, they did an endoscopy which is they stick a tube down your throat and they check around inside. And what they said is your stomach is irritated. It's irritated over here, and it's irritated, which is where the esophagus is, and it's irritated over here, which is where the intestines, where it connects to the intestines. And I was like, And then I realized that it was the chocolate that was doing that to me. Also, the process of figuring out why I was having problems with palpitations. I had to experiment with chocolate, and this was, also connected to, the dark chocolates. And it took me a while to figure out, oh, it's the chocolate. And then I experimented, and I discovered if I stick to around 70%, I don't have that problem as much, if at all, especially if I don't eat too much chocolate every day. There is one more problem with chocolate, and it's not limited to chocolate, actually. This is a problem of sugar, not really of chocolate. Although I would imagine that excessive amounts of chocolate eating could end up in something similar to this. Very recently, within the past month or so, I started to become very emotional. And I was, I'm kind of an emotional person, but I'm not like super sensitive. But yet I was becoming very, very emotional. And I thought, oh my God, am I becoming depressed again? Because I've had problems with depression in the past. And the initially it seemed like, oh gosh, and I talked to my doctor. But then while I was talking to my doctor, I remembered something that I had heard in the past. And that was related to sugar and how if you eat a lot of sugar, it can have an effect on your emotions. And I mentioned that to the doctor, and my doctor said, yeah, that's a possibility. So what do I've been doing a lot of reviews on different products, and a lot of them happen to be sweet products. So I decided, okay, I'm going to cut back on my carbs. I'm going to cut back especially on sweets. So I was doing several reviews a day of chocolate, and obviously there's a lot of sugar in chocolate. And so I decided, well, I'm just going to back off on doing reviews on chocolate. I'm going to limit it to 1 or 2 reviews a day, and see what happens. And so for about 2 weeks or so before I made this decision, I had become increasingly emotional. As soon as I backed off on the sugar consumption, it immediately stopped. Now again, this is a sugar problem, not a chocolate problem. Chocolate causes other kinds of problems because of caffeine. So it's actually sugar and caffeine in chocolate that can lead to emotional issues, nervousness and then obviously becoming sad and stuff like that. So there is a dark side to eating chocolate, but there are also benefits. But if you're eating milk chocolate or even medium chocolate, you're not, or especially white chocolate, you're not getting the health benefits. You have to get up to the 70s, and you have to get the chocolates that have a more complex flavor. So if you're eating a chocolate that has just a flat chocolate flavor, most likely it was processed with enough heat that the nutrients that are beneficial to humans have been eradicated, have been destroyed, I guess you could say. But if you notice like complexity to the flavor, especially if when I say complexity, I mean like not just the sweetness and the chocolate flavor that you are used to, but also sourness and bitterness. And most especially if you notice any fruity flavors or sweet special flavors, and sugar is not the first thing on the list, then you're probably going to be getting health benefits from that chocolate. There aren't a lot of chocolates out there that have not just sweet, sour chocolate and bitter, but also fruity overtones. But there are some out there, like Scharfenberger and let's see, So Chatty and Pasha 72%, not the 55%. 55%'s got way too much sugar in it. And then let's see. So Chatty. Some of the So Chatties are good. The one from Colombia, the one from Tanzania. Those two are very good. The other two from I think it's Peru and Brazil are kind of. They seem to be kind of damaged. And there are some other brands. So if you're searching around and trying different brands, look for the ones that have more complexity. And you may decide, well, this is not really what I like because I wanted to have the chocolate flavor, not this fruity flavor. Well, just remember, number one, chocolate comes from fruits. And number two, you're getting nutrition that's unique to dark chocolates from these fruity flavored chocolates. And you can always also eat the other ones. That's okay. I'm just saying you can get benefits from it. Um, Finally, try to keep in mind things like fair trade. Was it organic? Was it non-GMO? Were the beans processed in the same place or the same country at least where they were harvested, or were they transported across the oceans? Because a lot of times when you get to the point where, say, it's grown in Africa and then shipped to Europe, we're talking about huge shiploads of chocolate mixed from different locations. The beans are mixed from a lot of different locations, and then it's offloaded into Europe where it's processed. So you're going to be less likely to find complex chocolates in that situation. It's not that you can't, but unless the buyers at the chocolate manufacturing facility are very interested in preserving the real flavors of chocolate, the complex flavors of chocolate, and insisting with the source that they're buying from of getting like one tree's beans, the chances are slim. And you may think that, why is that important? Well, the dirt in different places has different nutrients. It's not all equal. Some areas are very rich in nutrients, other areas are very poor. That's going to affect not just the flavor, but also the nutritional value of the chocolate. And thus, also the way they process the chocolate where they grow it, as far as, to be able to get the beans out of the fruit, that can also have an impact on the nutritional value and the flavor. So it's very important to keep that in mind. Now, there are companies that write one tree, one bar. And what I think they really mean there is that each bar has beans from only one tree in it. It's not a mixture of different beans from different trees. And that is definitely a good idea in terms of making sure it's the consistency of the quality and stuff like that. It's not necessarily always going to be a good thing, because some trees may be sickly or may be growing on land that's not as well fertilized or something like that. But it's definitely something to keep in mind. There are a lot of very nice chocolates out there, but they don't have that complexity that I'm talking about that would indicate that there is extra special nutritional value. Now, I'm not saying that the ones that are just sour and bitter and chocolatey flavored don't have some of the nutritional value, but my guess is, and I'm sure that science will support me in this, is that those that actually have the overtones of fruit and honey and whatnot are the ones that have the most nutritional benefits for us. So, put your comments and your questions in the in the comments, obviously, and I'll see if I can't get to you. I may not have all the answers, but I would love to hear your experiences with chocolate. What your favorite chocolate brands are would be very interesting. I've tried well over 100 different brands of chocolates, and chocolates come in a lot of different flavors, but maybe I haven't found the brands that you love. Maybe I haven't been able to find the flavor that you have tried, or I have just not gotten around to that particular flavor. There are some chocolates I just haven't tried because I'm not interested in what they're offering. Like they only offer like medium chocolate or milk chocolate or white chocolate, or they have like bacon in their chocolate. And I'm like, I don't really want to have meat in my chocolate. I mean, I understand it's going to taste good, but it's just something I'm not interested in at this time. And that's about it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.